What's up, guys? Karate Mouse here, and I hope everyone is doing well. To me, this is probably one of the best updates ever since the Flying Bugs. Now, I know it is an early access game, and I know a lot of people don't really like getting into the story because they feel like they don't want to get into it because the game's not done. But honestly, that to me was one of the coolest thing about it. Finding the little logs and the little mysteries about it and not knowing too much about it and wanting to find more logs and piece it together. That was cool. So if anybody knows where Dr. Wendell Tully is or who he is, please comment below. And I found some of these logs. So I'm going to play some of them and kind of talk about my theories. If you guys have some theories, please let me know. Drop a comment. All right, let's get into them.
Dominant Practical Technologies. Dr. Wendell Tully, Household Liquids, Gels, and Aerosols Division. That is where my PhD is going now. With the pay cut, I've been reduced to substituting at the local school. I swear the ignorance around me is contagious. Does that normal teacher do anything? No wonder my inventions cannot be appreciated. Our society no longer understands science.
All right, one thing I like about this game was finding these little logs. And when you find these little logs, they kind of tell you little things about the characters or the backstory of the game. And when you find at least one of them, you hear of the name Dr. Wendell Tully. And it makes you wonder who that is. Now, that's one thing that I really liked about this game. I don't know if you guys remember a show called Lost and how every episode it kind of, threw in some stuff where it kind of made you want to, know more about the show. And that's what I liked about this game. Big shout out to Michael Chu, the writer of this script. Big shout out to him because for what is written so far, this is pretty cool. So, in this log, you find out that there's a Dr. Wendell Tully. He works at a company, and the company name is Omninent. And it sounds like he doesn't really like working there, and he has inventions that I guess is not getting attention or anything. And also it mentions that he starts to work at the local school, and he's now substituting there. So I think that is what's going to tie him to these kids, because a lot of people think that this yard is the kid's yard or it's one of the characters' yards. It's actually his yard. And when you start off in the game, even though there's 4 characters, there's 5 spots. So I like that little mystery already in the beginning. But yeah, let's get to the next log.
It's time to restart spacer development. Omninent may not believe in it, but I know its potential. Though I must figure out how to return shrunk objects to their original size. The first step will be to address the particle transcription errors. It seems almost certain that the irregularities are responsible for the failure during the demonstration. Virgil, please bring up all the lab data about the unknown particles.
Happy to be of service.
All right, in this log, you find out that he's going to restart research on the spacer. The spacer is the machine that shrinks everybody. And he says something with the unknown particles is the reason why he can't de-shrink things. So the machine works already by this log, right? And he's pitching it to his job, and they don't want to move forward, or they don't believe in this stuff. So kind of suspicious that it works already. What do you guys think? if you guys have any theories, let me know. But by this log, the machine works already, so maybe somebody's been using it already. Let's go to the next log.
I have isolated the source of the particle irregularities. They appear to be a byproduct of the shrinking process. If I adjust the machine to account for their existence, it should be the key to the de-shrinking, expanding process. Virgil, please bring up the readings for the irregular covalent SNPI 42Z particle traces. And while you're at it, rename all references to the irregular covalent SNPI 42Z particle to raw science.
All right, so when I got this log, it was a lot of numbers. Like he said, a lot of numbers. But you do find out that the stuff that you go and collect when you're playing the game, the stuff that is connected to the machine and the de-shrinking process. It's called raw science. So the stuff that Burgle tells us to go out and collect is called raw science.
I require additional equipment and supplies to complete the XB expanding platform prototype. Luckily, I happen to know exactly where such things can be obtained. Unfortunately, it seems unlikely that Armament will agree to any requisitions, thus I am forced to borrow what I require. Burgle, climb into the shrinking chamber. Once you have been miniaturized, I will communicate with you via Scabby and guide you through disabling the Armament security apparatus. Wait, what am I doing? I can't have any records of this. Burgle, purge recording.
But Ruby's corporate legal standards require that all official communication records are retained for all time throughout the...
Do it.
All right, so this is when the logs start getting juicy. This is when it starts being like, okay, all right, so he starts stealing from his job. So the stuff that you find around the yard, like the stuff that helps him make most of this stuff, he's stealing it from his job. And if you noticed in this one, he tells Burgle to not record what he's doing. And this is the first time Burgle kind of doesn't want to listen to him. You know, kind of back talks.
One success after another! I have returned Burgle to his original size! It appears that my new raw science containment field is working at 99% effectiveness. However, as Burgle indicates, there is some minor, insignificant raw science leakage, a note for another time. But I see no reason to put off a human trial. I believe there should be no issues. But I am ready to prove my creation's full potential. End recording. Burgle, I'd like to record some messages for my family in case things do not go as planned.
Okay, on this log, you find out that he returns Burgle to the normal size. So now he's at a point where he knows how to bring stuff back. Now, one thing that I thought was pretty crazy is how long has Burgle been down there then? Right? So Burgle's been down in the yard for a while. So he kind of knows the yard better than Dr. Wendell Tully, right? And now Burgle has told him that the machine is not fully contained and that there's leakage of raw science. And the doctor still wants to at least try to shrink humans. So has there been any humans before, or is the doctor about to be the first one? But I do want to hear those recordings that he recorded for his family. So what do you guys think? But we're going to go to the next log.
I was a fool to have ever doubted myself. A fool like Klein, like Kaminsky, like Picon, like all of Armament. I am here in the backyard. Down in the backyard. I mean, I am speaking to you from the backyard. I should gather my thoughts. This is a momentous occasion. Wendell Tully official log 89.08.05. Recording as I take my first steps into the miniature world. The sights are unbelievable. The textures, the way the light falls upon every surface, the subtle patterns in all of the objects that surround me. The grass, even common lawn grass, looks like a structure from an alien world.
All right, on this log, he has done it. He's now small in the backyard, and his invention works. He did mention Dr. I believe it said Klein, something. What was that guy's name? It was Klein, Kaminsky, and Picon. Yeah, but he's now successfully shrunk a human. Shout out to the guy doing the voice. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's the guy who plays Shazam. That's who is playing Dr. Wendell Tully. When I saw that was pretty crazy. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Now, let's review the progress of the last few months. I'm getting ever closer to perfecting the spacer and the XP. Raw science containment has been a success. We are within 0.2% translation accuracy, but those final infinitesimal bits have proven the most difficult. Despite that, Burgle and I have been able to transit the miniature world without incident. I must admit it has been a bit overwhelming of late. Between Armament and school, nightly work in the basement and yard, and this sweltering summer heat, I feel stretched thin. Some nights I find myself too exhausted to work on my experiments. All this is going to give me gray hairs. I mean, why, just the other day, Trudy said that the stress is putting new wrinkles on my face. She may have a point about the hair, though. As much as I'm loath to admit it, it does seem to be thinning.
Alright, so apparently, him and Burgle have been doing this for months now. They've been shrinking down and de-shrinking for months. And his wife, which is named Trudy, she just now mentioned that he has a gray hair. Alright, let's move on.
This morning, I installed the borrowed lab modules. Another one of my forgotten inventions from the early days. I had such grand notions back then. The lab network is now up and running in the backyard. I'm planning to dedicate each one of them to a different function. Main power will run through here. The Oak Lab is the center of operations for the backyard. The second lab is nestled into the hedge. Such wonderful views from up there.
In this log, you find out that those little stops that you go to analyze stuff, him and Burgle have been setting those up throughout the yard. So that's why those are there. And also, he does mention 2 labs. He mentions the Oak Lab and the Hedge Lab. Now, at this time of recording, there is no Pond Lab and there is no Haze Lab. So keep that in mind.
Dr. Applebaum has pronounced me in perfect health. For a man 20 years my senior, I must face the facts. The gray hairs, the wrinkles, they are not figments of the imagination. I can draw only one reasonable conclusion. It is the elusive fractional errors of the shrinking process which are the cause. Trudy has asked that I discontinue my experiments, but what choice do I have? If I quit now, I will have nothing. What will I be other than a failed inventor and scientist with no discoveries to his name, unable even to teach the basics of physics to a gaggle of hormonal teenagers? No! If this means that I must sacrifice 20 years of my life, then so be it.
Yikes. Okay, so apparently the machine, every time he shrinks down and then de-shrinks and get big again, it's making him grow old. So remember before when his wife said she noticed gray hairs, he thought it was stress, but he thinks it's the cause of the machine. So yeah. But his wife tells him to stop doing this stuff. You know, he's you know, she's tired of it. She wants him to pack that shit up, and but he's gonna keep on doing it, even though it's making him old. Every time he shrinks and de-shrinks, he's gonna keep on doing it. All right, let's move on.
I don't need this now. Abnormalities in the readings, unexpected power fluctuations, raw science run rampant. I'm so tired. All these new variables that need to be accounted for, they're ruining everything in my most desperate hour. It has all turned against me. Even as I walk around the backyard, I feel the walls of grass closing in on me, the tips of those green blades like daggers pointed at my heart. I see, no, I feel the unblinking, multifaceted eyes of the ants and spiders reflecting my misshapen visage, watching, always watching, and bearing witness to my failure. Perhaps it is time for me to lay down and admit defeat. Perhaps this is all the success that was meant for me. Perhaps it is enough.
Alright, so it sounds like the machine or something's messing up. I guess raw science is scattered throughout the yard, it sounds like. What do you guys think? It sounds like he's given up. It sounds like he's over it. But something's going on, and he's starting to lose his mind or something. But he's definitely finding something wrong with the machine.
Burgle has been behaving strangely. I have noted in some of our interactions that he has been taking liberties with my instructions besides his usual displays of incompetence. But just the other day, I heard him humming a tune about grilling. He thought I could not hear him, but I did. And I have told him again and again to eliminate that unnecessary function from his programming, and yet still I know he harbors secret thoughts of grilling. Oh, I was certainly right to isolate him from the experiments. One can only imagine how his malformed programming could be contaminating my research.
So if you listen to this one, the doctor is starting to not trust Burgle. He's starting to kind of be suspicious of him. And if you listen, he says he was smart to not tell him about his studies. So he's starting to keep stuff from Burgle. And also, one of the most important thing in this one is he mentioned that he told Burgle to erase something from his programming. So this is a perfect example, and it shows you that Burgle, he doesn't fully listen to Dr. Wendell Tully, or maybe somebody's controlling him, but he definitely doesn't listen to him, and the doctor does not trust him anymore. I don't know what you guys think.
I cannot bear to look upon myself any longer. I've become a monster. Inhuman, less than the insects that are my only companions now. I've become old, well before my years. A shrunken husk of a man. A walking corpse like Lurkin Shriek, doomed to the executioner's axe. I cannot show my face to Trudy and the kids. She was right all along, as she always is. I have no choice but to remain here, living exiled in the backyard. I have diverted my remaining strength and will into finding a cure for this malady, this raisinification, if you will. All other research initiatives must be placed on hold, or it will be too late. It may already be too late. It is only fitting that I am so small, tiny, minuscule, just like my legacy.
Damn, okay, Trudy sounds like my goodness. Alright, she can't be right all the time, pal. Don't be hard on yourself. But I guess he's gonna stop all the research that he's doing, and he's gonna try to find a cure to fix why he's getting so old every time he shrinks. He said he was a walking corpse, so I don't know. Do you guys think he's dead, or like, I don't know. He says he's a walking corpse, and he's trying to find a cure. So let's hear the next log.
Strange noises, stranger occurrences, coincidences. Oh, I think not. Or is it my mind playing tricks on me? I feel the senility of the edges of my thoughts. I have grown so old. Just the other day, I found my tape recorder laying out that I knew I had put away. I would not have been so careless, and yet there it was. Could it have been Burgle? No. Such a conspiracy would be beyond his capabilities. Something darker is afoot. Perhaps ominent. Surely. But how could they know? I took such precautions, and yet... Burgle, execute end-of-day procedures. Wait. Ignore that. I will see to it myself. It may be time for me to find a new venue for my research. Away from all these eyes.
Okay, by now the doctor is tripping balls right now. He swears that somebody is watching him and listening to him. He now fully does not trust Burgle at all. You can tell he asked him to end the recordings, and then he goes, nah, never mind, I'll manually do it myself. So the fact that he doesn't fully trust Burgle is pretty crazy. And also, if you did notice, he says he's going to start doing his lab work somewhere else. Where is that somewhere else? I personally think it's the Pond base or the Hayes base, but yeah, he definitely does not trust Burgle anymore. Alright, so where is Dr. Wendell Tully? I definitely don't think he's dead. And there has to be other people that was here before, because I mean there's so many chairs, there's so many different computers. Like, did he need all those chairs? So there's definitely people that were down here, and maybe they were the people that since at the time he didn't have the ways to de-shrink, maybe those people were stuck down there, and they had to deal with the bugs and stuff. But I don't know, but I definitely don't think he's dead. Well, at least not yet, because I I think he might come up with a way to at least return the kids back to their normal sizing. And I think it would be really cool if, you know, the kids, they go back to their original size, and it cuts to the credits, you know, song starts playing, and then at the end credit scene, you know, like a malfunction goes wrong in the machine, and all of a sudden the kids are shrunk again. That would be cool. But I definitely don't think he's dead. Now Burgle, that guy's shady. Something's up with that guy for sure. But I don't think Dr. Wendell is dead. I think he's somewhere in the yard, and I think we're gonna find him. I think he's somehow gonna at least help us, maybe, or have some information to get back or something. But if anybody has any, because I know there's more logs out there. I know there's more clues and stuff. So I know some people know some stuff. But this is the first episode I want to do on the grounded theories and just theories about the game, because I know that the game is already tight. The updates are tight. The community is amazing. I want to know, you know, what other people are at least thinking, you know. I do want to give a big shout out to everyone that has been liking and subscribing. I never really made videos for YouTube before. I used to make videos, and then just because I had a YouTube account, I used to post it to YouTube. So I never really had a direction. I never really had anything I wanted to post or have my channel be about. So yeah, it really means a lot. It's really inspired me to put out stuff. But I really want to hear what other people in this great community has to say about this story, because am I the only one excited about the story that's not even done? So if you got anything to say, I know you guys been finding some logs. Please share, comment, and let's get talking about this. Let's get talking about it. On the next episode, we're going to talk about that Burgle guy, because I don't trust him. All right, guys. You guys take it easy. This is Friday Mouse. See you later.